I love slow-cooked ribs, and all over the world, low and slow-cooked food is gaining popularity all the time. American-style barbecue classics like spare ribs and pulled pork used to be the realm of real barbecue enthusiasts, but low and slow cooking on a Weber gas barbecue is really simple, and will produce incredibly tender, fall-off-the-bone, slow-roasted meats. You can create these amazing meats in your very own home with the convenience of gas on your Weber barbecue. We'll be using the indirect method for slow roasting our sweet and spicy pork ribs. And we'll use our side burner to create the perfect sweet and sticky sauce. To get our ribs started and to build up that incredible flavour, we have to make a spice rub. So, we have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Thoroughly mix all of these ingredients in a bowl. Now, when you buy your ribs, either ask the butcher to remove this membrane from the back, or you can do it yourself. To remove the membrane, use a butter knife or something similar to start to lift it from the back of the ribs. And once you've got a start, you can use a piece of paper towel or a chucks to pull the membrane away from the bones. If you leave the membrane on, it will become tough and chewy when your ribs are done. Now coat both sides with the spice mix and gently rub the seasoning into the meat. Cover the ribs in cling film and refrigerate for about an hour to marinade. This will allow the spices and flavours to really infuse and penetrate the pork ribs. 30 minutes before cooking, take them out of the fridge to allow the meat to come up to room temperature. Now it's time to preheat our barbecue, which is something you must do every time you cook on your Weber. To light your barbecue, turn your gas bottle on. Turn the left-hand control knob to the start high position, then immediately press your igniter button. Repeat this to light the other 2 main burners. When preheating for low roasting, set the right-hand burner to medium. All other burners should be off. Preheat with the lid closed for 10 minutes. Now that the barbecue is preheated, put the ribs on the left-hand side of the barbecue. Or if you have one, you can use a Weber rib rack to stand your ribs on. Now turn the right-hand burner down to the low and slow setting as shown in your cooking booklet. Close the lid and cook for 4 hours. Now that our ribs are slowly cooking away, it's time to make the sweet and sticky sauce that will give our ribs a whole other dimension of flavour. To make the sauce, you'll need 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 brown onion finely diced, 3/4 of a cup of tomato sauce, half a cup of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 1/3 of a cup of apple cider, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and finally 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. We'll be cooking this sauce on the side burner of the Weber Genesis barbecue. To light your side burner, lift the lid, then turn the control knob to the high setting and press the igniter button. To make the sauce, put the butter in a saucepan and cook over a low heat until melted. Then add the onion and cook for a few minutes or until it's softened. Now add all the remaining sauce ingredients and cook for a further 10 minutes over a high heat or until thick and sticky, making sure to stir the sauce regularly. Our ribs have been cooking for 4 hours now, so it's time to baste them with our sauce. Using a basting brush, cover the ribs with the sauce on both sides. Close the lid and cook them for another hour. However, every 20 minutes or so, open the lid and baste the ribs again and again. You'll end up with the most tender, juicy, fall off the bone, delicious ribs you've ever tasted.